right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome to the Antonio Parkinson Project. Today, we're talking the Supreme Court's questionable decisions. Angela Simmons and Oreo cookies, and we have the weatherman himself in the building, Joey Solopek. Yeah. Put that shot on Joey. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. So stick around, hit that subscribe button. We'll be right back. You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project. Welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson Project. You are watching the fastest growing visual podcast in the Memphis market. Y'all give it up for that. Yeah. And this segment is brought to you by the Official Voter Guide. Of course, it is election time, so make sure you go to theofficialvoterguide.com, download your official voter guide, and make sure you go vote and vote early because it is election time. Hey, look, I'm very excited to see my people in the building because we took a whole week off, finally got a break, right? So give it up for my lovely, lovely co-host, Angelica Jelly Woods in the building.
Hey, I actually missed y'all 4th of July.
Man.
I did.
Kojak, she just got her makeup done. So you see,
barely got it done, y'all.
Kojak, man, all her stuff is always on my side, man.
Shout out to Asia.
Then we talked about having work spouses, man. We talked about that's a bad idea. And now I'm over here sharing space anyway. DJ Kojak, scratch it up for him 4 times in the building.
Bam. Pull one back for Joey.
Yeah,
okay.
all right.
For Joey, didn't you?
Yeah, man. And the weatherman himself is in the building. Joey Solopek in the building. Woo! Woo! Hold on, Joey. Let me ask you something. Did you hear that scratch?
I did not.
Oh, no. See, now you're supposed to hear the scratch, Joey.
Joey, we all heard the scratch.
It's a delay.
Yeah, we all heard the scratch, Joey. Damien, did you hear the scratch?
Now I did. Wait a minute. Now I did. I got it.
You got it?
I got it.
It was a delay.
It was buffered. It was buffered.
It was buffered. That's what it is, man. Oh, hey, look, man, we are, first of all, we are incredibly honored, man, to have you in the building, man. I'm serious. I'm dead ass serious. You know, this real talk, when we started talking about having Joey Solopek on the show, this is the most responded to show teaser that we've had since we've been doing this show.
I'm humbled.
That is incredible, man.
Joey, he tells everybody that. Don't lie.
No,
I'm mad. Really, I'm serious. No. It was.
Man, I'm seriously, well over 300 likes, multiple comments on all of the different platforms. You know, people were excited. They were genuinely, positively excited that you were coming on the show.
I love Memphis.
Man, I think Memphis loves you.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, man. Look at it. Is that your way of blushing?
I didn't have my makeup done. I am.
Well, Angelica had enough done for all of us. So.
Ooh,
You look nice.
shady. Okay.
She looks
She's gorgeous. She is.
Oh,
She's
thank you.
absolutely beautiful. Yeah. So, man, look, you know, we real quick just want to jump into this, man. You know, these shocking, these decisions that are coming down from the Supreme Court, right? They affect all of us. You know, we're in an election season, and everything. You know, I try to explain to people that everything that you touches politics, right? And your vote matters. You know, the Supreme Court, they made really, really serious decisions in I think it was 4 different areas. One is, of course, the decision in Trump's immunity, the Chevron decision, which is a very important decision that a lot of people are sleeping on. They basically criminalize homelessness. And then AOC files articles of impeachment on 2 of the justices, Justice Clarence Thomas and Justice Alito. So we want to talk about those things, but let's talk about Trump immunity. Now I just want to, you know, walk through the room. You know, Supreme Court, you know, they basically said Trump has immunity when it's an official act, but an official act was not defined. And so, what are your thoughts on that?
You know, I generally stay away from politics.
Right, right,
Okay.
and we do too.
I do.
Right, yeah.
We do.
I am big on harmony, right?
Okay.
those big rulings that came down, I mean, there was a lot of them.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah,
said, Supreme Court, Chevron. We're talking about wide scoping rulings.
Absolutely.
I don't care who's in office. I think there needs to be accountability.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't care
Yeah.
who it is.
Yeah.
You've got to have accountability. And I think listen, no matter who it is, whether you're red or blue or whatever, some of those presidential decisions, we've got to give them some protection. But at the same time, at the end of the day, are you being held accountable?
Right. Yeah.
And again, that's universal. So I want to make sure people don't dive in without knowing all those angles. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, we're going into a election cycle that is going to be very divisive. There's no doubt about it.
Definitely.
And it's one of the things that breaks my heart about where we have come to as a culture, where everybody's looking to be angry
Yeah.
all the time.
Yep,
Right.
yep.
And so while I love debate, love it, I love hearing two sides of every story. Here's what I want to stress. And listen, I know I'm in a hotbed right here of opinions, right? That all the people that are listening, it's healthy to have debates. Let's just make sure we're being harmonious on the other side. So, Trump says crazy things. There's no doubt. So does Biden, right? No matter who it is that's in that office, I think you got to be accountable. I don't know if I'm saying it clear enough.
Yeah.
Trying to make sure I'm making my point.
Right. I
Right.
got you.
No matter who it is, be accountable.
I mean, essentially, he had 34 not one, not two, 34. And this is the same court that wants to uphold it, wants everybody else to be accountable, right? But the president who's leading the whole country is not expected to be. So I think it's just double-sided. How can you want everybody else to be accountable and they can be charged in court, but our own president, the president of the United States, is not being accountable? And I think other countries are looking at it as like a big joke. Like he's a criminal, y'all. I'm sorry. I know you're not saying that, Joey, but he is technically alleged.
He's been convicted, so
Yes,
you know,
he's a criminal.
That's a fact. He's been
Yes,
convicted.
and I think other countries and leaderships are taking this as a joke. It's not serious. So, and are y'all going to keep that same energy with other people that come for the same? Y'all gonna keep that same energy all the way around?
Well, here in the state of Tennessee, if you are a convicted felon, you can't even run for office. So, but there are different laws at the federal
Yes.
level, that allow these things to happen. So, that's something we have to deal with. We got to talk
But then,
about.
hold on, can I say this though? But one of the actors said something profound.
You're the boss around here. So
Whatever. But one, I forgot the actor. They said something. The actress who said something profound. They said if they can remove those convictions or whatever, they should be able to remove the box that say that I'm a felon. That's just at minimum, you should be able to do that. At minimum, they should be able to do that.
I agree with that. At a minimum too. If you can be a felon and run for president, hell, you ought to be able to be a
Thank
felon
you.
to get any job
Or vote. Some places you can't vote.
Well, let me ask
so.
you this, because I don't know enough,
Right.
and help educate me. You're probably the man to do this. That immunity ruling, what all will it apply to?
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing. That's the bad part about it. The immunity ruling, it says for any official act, but they did not define what an official act is.
Right.
So if and this is just a crazy hypothetical, if Joe Biden thought that Trump was a threat to democracy and wanted to by official act eliminate that threat, he had Trump eliminated, right, then it would be arguable, or the presumption would be on the side of Joe Biden's act, because it was done as an official act. So the presumption of his innocence would be that it was done as an official act.
That's a huge gray area. Right?
That's
Yeah,
huge,
it's
right?
wiggle
You're
room.
right.
They're providing wiggle
Right.
room passes.
Well, they're providing opportunities for the situation to bypass the law and to go directly to the courts. And that's what that does.
I have a general distrust of politics in general.
Right.
Right. I mean,
Right.
the further up you go.
Right.
Now, I want to be full disclosure.
Right.
You and I have known each other many years.
Right. Before I was elected.
Before you were elected.
Right.
And I want to tell you one of the things I've always admired about you is your ability to reach across an aisle.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That there's strength in that.
Right.
I have seen you bring parties together. And you didn't invite me on here to be the Antonio Parkinson.
I'm about to say, did he pay you on
promo.
the side or something?
Well, you're doing a good job, though.
But
Right.
but I'm being serious.
You can tell.
Yeah.
I am being serious. But when we get to issues like this, I want to make sure that, like I said before, that we dig down, because what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Right? What is
Yeah.
that? What are we talking about immunity from? I don't have enough brains on it yet to know.
Right.
And we definitely don't want to see somebody cleared from ridiculous charges But I honestly, so much came down in the last 2 weeks. It's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about ripple effect upon
Yeah.
ripple effect.
Well, I think the basics of it is this, though. You know, there are laws that are in place, right? And you want, especially those of us that are in these offices, to try to abide by the law, right? And so, and then because if you break that same law, you're going to prison.
Yes.
But if he breaks that same law,
He ain't
he
gonna.
gets immunity, and
Yeah.
it shouldn't be.
No,
Thank
right.
you.
And that's the basics.
we're
of it.
talking about common sense stuff.
Right,
So,
right.
so what I want to see is how can that be applied? I don't. In my brain, I still don't even see it's possible for somebody to break the law and not go to jail.
Right,
I can't even.
right.
I can't even understand how they can apply that.
Well,
so
that
I'm really.
happens all the time. Though.
Well,
Yeah,
no, you're right.
Yeah.
But if you get to that level, listen, man. Like I said, now I'm back to my first statement: distrust of politics in general.
And rightfully so. And it's warranted for people to distrust in politics. And I say that, and I'm in it because I see the shit all the time, right? Yeah, but look, I do want to talk. I think Michelle gave us the 5-minute look.
we don't
I do
wait.
want to talk about the Chevron decision, right? And let me explain this: the Chevron decision. So the Supreme Court basically undid. I think it was another 40 years of law that said that if there was an argument, and we had to get an initial decision, that decision would be made by the policies that the federal departments have in place. Let me give you an example. Let's say, for instance, if we were an actual radio station, and and I just said the word shit, right? Shit. And so I look
Said
at
it
the freedom,
again.
the freedom
He
of
just wanted to
right?
say it again.
Right.
He just wanted to say that.
Right,
I just wanted to
right.
say that.
And so if the FCC, if somebody made a complaint and the FCC's policy said you can't say that on the radio, then that would be what we abide by. But when Chevron was overturned, it said that all of those department policies from the feds now are arbitrary, basically, and it will be decided in court. So what that means is if a company on President's Island decides to start dumping toxins in the Wolf River, right, and we complain, hey, they're poisoning the fish, right, then it wouldn't go to whatever the policies are of the EPA. It now has to be argued in court. So you can imagine the amount of lawsuits that are going to be coming down the pike, not from people suing, or these companies suing the federal government because they don't like the policy. Is now going to be everybody's going to have to be suing somebody because they don't know what policy to lean on.
Yeah.
Because now the Fed's policies almost don't matter based on the overturning of the Chevron. And that one is incredibly dangerous.
A lot of confusion. It's going to
lot-
cause a lot of
confu-
confusion.
And a lot of things, what's going to happen is there'll be a lot of bad actors, right, that have a lot of corporate money that will tie things up in court. You know how that works. Tie it up in the courts. And then, by the time it's all said and done, they done
Gave up.
saved their money or made plenty of money to someone's detriment. It's a cold game, boy. That's all I can say. And then last one, of course, they said that the local governments, state and local governments can make it unlawful for homeless individuals to be camped out on the streets and basically criminalizing the homeless.
and take them to jail.
Yeah, so I mean,
But that's the whole point. A lot of people that's homeless, they intentionally do things to get arrested, to get shelter. Y'all do know it's a fact. They do things because they want shelter, and being locked up is a form of shelter for them. So I don't even know how that
Being
even
locked
resolves
up
any
or
issue.
going to some of these hospitals. My wife works at a hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and she said they just come in there and say that they sick so they can have
Somewhere to
somewhere
sleep.
to be for that night.
and get some food.
Yeah, you're not
Yeah,
resolving the
because
issue.
They
That's not
feed them
even
as
helping.
well.
Yeah, I tell you what, I was homeless before, and 3 times as a matter of fact, by the age of 17, and I'm telling you, I know the desperation that comes with being, homeless. I'm getting, and this is a true story. My cousin who had gave us a place to stay, but he went out of town and he had to lock his doors, so we were back on the street, me and my brother. So we doubled back and went and broke into his house,
Y'all
right,
y'all squatters.
and stole the church money. He was a deacon. We stole the church money.
How
That's the
tiny
money
the
we
story
used to
is.
buy food. We ate good that week.
You stole Jesus' money?
We stole Jesus' money.
Ooh,
Thank God.
I knew you.
Yeah,
Oh, you don't went too far.
And years later, he asked about it. I said, yeah, that was us. Yeah, we did.
Oh, at least
Yeah,
you
we
admitted
straight up B&E, straight up breaking and entering, right? But you know what though, man? You know, you man, people, and this is part of our challenge that we're dealing with now in Memphis, is that, you know, there's so many people that are in survival mode. Right?
Yeah.
We were in survival mode, right? And we were doing. People, I tell people all the time. Tell them at the state legislature, my colleagues, you would be surprised at what you would do
And desperate.
when you were in desperate times and in survival mode. You would be surprised because your brain it fires differently. Yeah, and so yeah, so that's that's a true story. But I paid it back. I brought him up here.
That was my next question. Did you pay it back?
Yeah, I brought him up here. Got him some Kelvin's barbecue back then, and he enjoyed it. He thought it was more than enough, right?
At least you took ownership and accountability. That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
biggest thing. And apologize. People do things, they don't want to do none of those things. Don't get me started today.
Oh yeah,
But
man! I just thank God
my
for being in cover mode for us, because in that space, man, we could have easily went a whole different direction, And the last thing we got to get out here because Nichelle is giving us the eyeballs, right? Is that AOC has now filed official impeachment or an investigation rather into two of the justices, Justice Clarence Thomas and Alito, because they're saying Justice Clarence Thomas has a sugar daddy, that's been giving him a lot of money and paying, well, not money, physically money, but taking care of him, right? So anyway, look, we'll be right back. We got the weatherman in the building, Joy Solopek. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
We're coming right back. Hit that subscribe button. You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
Okay.
Welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson Project. I am Antonio Parkinson. Hey, welcome to live television or live streaming or live something. You get all of
We
it that comes
live.
with it. You know, all of it. Michelle's over there cracking up. Look, hey, don't forget this segment is brought to you by the Official Voter Guide. Early voting has started, and please make sure you go out and exercise your right to vote. And also, go to theofficialvoterguide.com so that you can download your official voter guide. Take it in the building with you, right? And make sure you cast your vote for those good people that are on the official voter guide. Hey, look. Let me explain this. Angelica Jelly Woods. First of all, give it up for Angelica again, man. You know, she loves some praise, man.
No, I do
so
not,
we're here for you.
really.
I'm just kidding, Angelica. I know that was shady, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's very
That
shady.
really was shady. Kojak, scratch it up 4 times for us,
Here we
Kojak.
go.
Oh God, wake me up.
Bam, bam.
Oh, what you hear? Did you hear it in your left ear or your right ear?
It was in this one.
It was in that one. All right, all right.
Okay.
Joyce, I'm back in the building, y'all. What's that? Yeah. So look, check this out, man. You know, you first of all, you grew up in the capital of Memphis, 38128. Am I correct?
That's correct.
That's correct.
Okay. You got the pass.
Right.
You
And
done made up
you
now.
attended the high school, right?
The
What high school was that?
Raleigh, Egypt.
I was like,
Yeah.
what's the high school? I guess I was a little slow. Oh, Michelle
You hear it?
said
Michelle said clap for that.
said
You
clap
hear
it
it?
up. Okay, y'all. All right,
Yeah,
right.
fair roll.
Hey, roll.
Yeah, man. So tell us a little bit about your upbringing, man, and you know, and we want to know how did you, but you know, and don't skip anything, but you know, walk us through the Raleigh Egypt days, and you know, but tell us how you got into weather. End it with how you got into weather,
I don't know if anybody wants to hear this.
We wanna
Antonio.
hear it.
Okay.
and your fans want to hear.
Well,
Yes.
grew
yes,
up
definitely.
single mom. First of all, my dad played ball at Memphis State.
Okay.
He was an outstanding football player.
Okay.
And he and mom met there. They got divorced. That happens all the time. Still a great guy. But I grew up and went to Scenic Hills Elementary.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know this. Back then, Scenic Hills, our mascot was the beaver.
the beaver.
Yeah, I actually went and spoke to the kids there about a month ago. They have upgraded it from the beaver. I don't know, it's something more ferocious now. But I've got a sweatshirt with Scenic Hill beavers on it.
Yeah, beavers from the Lucehachie
That's
River.
exactly right. We climbed on up.
Right. That is hilarious.
And then Raleigh, Egypt, middle school, junior high, high school, and then went to Memphis State University. So lived my whole life here, and didn't really know what I wanted to do. You know, I'll be very upfront with everybody. I love God. I try to do what God tells me to do. I listen for that Spirit. I listen for that Holy Spirit talking to me. So I was in constant prayer. What do I do? What do I do, God? And I was trying to get a job with FedEx in Dallas. I came home for Christmas, and I'm on Beale Street, and I look over, and there's a guy I know named Paul Sloan. He was an old fraternity brother carrying a camera. I said, "Man, what are you doing?" He said, I'm working for Fox 13, or it was ABC 13 then, old Memphians, Eyewitness News.
I know Paul Sloan.
You know Paul
I
Sloan?
know Paul Sloan.
Paul was running, being a reporter at the time, and I said, "Man, can you get me in there as an intern?" So, long story short, I get an internship. I work the assignment desk. I learn how to be a photographer. Then I'm a photographer. Then I start taking classes to get my meteorology degree. So I worked my way up. I had every business, every job in the building. But I hit a point where I was like, before I got into weather, I said, where do I want to go? What do I want to do with this? And everything else, I felt like I couldn't be me. I wanted to be me.
Right.
And there's not a whole lot of areas to do that in a TV station unless you go into weather. You can have a personality. And God just opened those doors. And a couple of years later, I turned around. I had gone from working for 13, then I went to 24. It was ABC 24, UPN 30 back in the day. And then went from there to Channel 3. Then got into investments, which is what I'm doing now. So, and then I came back out of that and went back to 13. And so 25 years in TV news.
It's a long time.
Worked in most of the stations in Memphis. I mean, as I look back, I mean, what a road. TV news is a tough business. I got some people in this room who would attest to that. I mean, it is a tough business. It's a service industry. You're really servicing your community and being there for your community. And if you love the city you're in and you plug into it, it can be fulfilling. And so I was blessed by those years.
Yeah. So how did the bow tie come about?
Oh man, you know, I was at ABC 24 with Brian Teglin. I remember that name.
Yeah.
Brian Teglin was my mentor, and he was the chief meteorologist. I was doing weekends, and I looked at him and I said, "Man, I said, I'm just another skinny white guy. I said, how am I ever going to stand out? And he goes, I don't know. What are you going to do? You know? And I said, you know what? I said, if I can ever afford it, because nobody was wearing them back then.
Right.
I said, I'm going to wear a bow tie. And he goes, that's the craziest thing I ever heard. So I said, I'm going to do it. So saved up my money, bought one. And I'll tell you this. A lot of people may not believe this. When I first started wearing them on the air, people hated it.
Really?
Hated it.
Really?
I walked into a Walgreens one time early on at my Fox days, and this lady yells at me across Walgreens. I think I'd been the chief there for 6 months. She goes, hey, I hate your bow tie across Walgreens. You know,
Wow, yeah.
I said, okay, thank you.
Right.
Now you fast forward 3, 4, 5 years, and people don't even know my name. They just call me the bow tie.
Bow tie.
So the bow tie
Right.
won them over, not me.
Right.
The hat, right.
Right.
That
the hat,
they know
right,
it.
Right. Yeah.
They know
yeah.
it. But
Yeah.
you know, here's the thing. I love the South. I love being a gentleman. I love that look.
Yeah.
And it just connected for some reason.
Yeah.
It's been a fun connection.
Yeah. Hey man, so when the lady shouted, "I hate the bow tie,"
Yeah.
did you think about stopping wearing the bow tie?
Not for a second.
Not for a second.
No.
Right.
You know, anybody out there who wants to be, you don't want to be run of the mill.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the same. You want to stand out.
Come
you
on,
want to
man.
be different.
Yeah.
And
Right.
and when you're a kid, you don't want that. You want to disappear.
Right,
Right. Every
right.
kid goes, don't look at me. I don't want
Right.
to stand out. But you finally hit a spot where you're like, let me show a personality. Let me show my hat. Let me
Right.
show my style.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, let me be who I am. And that makes a difference in your life.
Right.
So back to his question, you know, even being yelled at, I was
Yeah.
like, no, this is kind of who I am. And, you know, they made me stop wearing it for a while.
Did they?
Yeah. So
station?
the station made me
Okay.
stop wearing it for a while.
Did
They
you fight
said,
against
The
it?
ladder ownership, right?
They did.
Yeah, and you know, everybody was.
It was crazy. They came to me and said, we need you to take off the bow tie. And I was like, what? That
Right.
doesn't make
That's
any
the brand.
sense. I kind of walked away from it. A couple of weeks go by. We really need you to take off the bow tie. And I said, that doesn't make any sense. What?
Right.
Finally, somebody pulled me aside and said, here's the issue. The bow tie has become bigger than you are. And I said, well, what do you mean? And they said, well, that's all they're talking about instead of what you're doing. And I said, look, you're signing the checks. Just tell me what to do. And so we went to a straight tie for a while. And actually, the numbers actually rose up. And
Did
they
they?
said
Really?
the issue then became that they were focusing more on what I was doing instead of what I was wearing. Of course, in my head, I was like, can't we marry those two things together?
Yeah.
You know, and to be full disclosure, I now wear them all the time. I would have one on today if it wasn't so hot outside.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. Shameful, man, that you didn't
That's
wear
the
it.
first thing
I know
Parkinson
I was
asked for.
embarrassed
Where's
when I
the
came
bow
in and
tie?
saw that. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah, man.
But you know what, Joy, when you came on, there was this guy, he's a white guy I don't even know his name, so that's funny when you talked about the bow tie and not even, you know, finding your niche. He has a niche. I'm sure y'all know who I'm talking about. He trends all the time. He does a lot of TikTok videos. He does all the dances. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
I've seen.
Yeah.
I don't remember his
yeah,
name,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I think he's like on an ATL in Atlanta station,
Yeah.
but he's really well known for doing TikTok. And I was telling them that Glorilla was just on there because, you know, they did it's finally Friday night, it's 95 degrees. She went on there and did it with him. But that's the importance of finding your niche, standing out. And I'm glad that you stayed committed to it because no matter what, people are talking. So whether it's bad, good, people are just talking. So it works.
You know, that's interesting. You know, I'm reading this book called Talk Triggers. Angelica, I'm reading this book called
You're
Talk
always, I think he
Triggers.
lies. I think he
Right.
like reads him. He lies or just
A lot of
But-
books.
chat
but-
GBT is telling us in the outline of it or
And
something.
you know, and the fact that you know, that was a talk trigger. Just like my hat is a talk trigger. People say, you talking about the guy with the hat, right? Okay, I take that, right? And but if it directs people to, you know, the product, isn't that what matters?
Well, you break through, and then they see there's something under the hat.
Right.
That's what
right.
happens.
Absolutely.
What's under the hat?
Right. Well,
A big ass head.
but you think about how fragmented we are. I mean, this is how people read now. Flip, 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 throw. You know,
Yep.
what's going to jump out? And that's why people. I encourage that. Be yourself.
Absolutely.
You know, have some
Authentic.
personality. Be authentic. Dress how you want to dress. You know, or be that person and stand out respectfully.
Right, right.
right. I mean, we've got to have some parameters.
Right, right.
But having a hook, honestly, it's critical now just to be able to break out of the pack.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
You know,
man.
my thing is I'm the black girl from Iowa because if people always say there's black people in Iowa, so it's 70% black here. So that's my thing. You don't got to remember my name. Just remember I'm the black girl from
We
Iowa.
will remember that.
I will remember
You
that.
will remember
Yeah,
that
we'll
because
remember
there's
that.
a whole bunch of black people here. I'm just saying,
Right.
but you're not gonna
But not
forget the
many in
black.
Iowa.
Thank you. You're not gonna forget the black girl from Iowa,
Right.
and I still got my Iowa number. So that's the thing. I just stand on. I take it.
I take it too, man. And look, authenticity. Dang, man, my I'm drinking Red Bull, y'all. So authenticity to me is the nucleus to charisma.
Yeah.
If you want to draw people, I mean, think about that.
I
If
like
you want
that.
to, yes, sir, yes,
I like
sir.
that.
If you want to draw people, you just be 100%
Yeah.
completely authentically who God wired you to be. And what's crazy is this, man, is that we don't embrace who God wired us to be, and it's incredibly perfect for who you are.
Yeah.
Right, but what happens is we'll see somebody that's doing well in this area
Yeah.
or doing well in this area that we like, and so we start trying to emulate
Yep.
somebody else or something else, and it's not authentically who God uniquely wired us to be.
Let me say this to springboard off of that.
Spring, man. Spring
Listen, when my kids were little, one of the smartest things my wife and I did is we did not let them have access to Instagram or any social media.
Sure, can you cheat? Ooh.
Listen, and that has made the biggest impact, positive impact, because there's no authenticity.
No, it's
When
all
you're
fake.
flipping through a feed, what you're seeing is a 1 out of 87 shots that people try to get
Yes.
the perfect angle.
And a lot of editing.
A lot of editing, or standing in front of a vacation that they charge that they can't pay for.
Right.
They don't want to
Right,
go home
right,
and they in
right.
pain,
That's
right?
right. And so what we've done is we've largely built this culture of inauthenticity,
Yes.
of falsehoods.
Yeah.
And so it's fostering this anger amongst our young people.
Yep.
Instead of authenticity, they're getting fakeness and FOMO,
Yeah.
fear of missing out. So I love what you said because you're right. If you're authentic, that can lead to charisma, because if you're vulnerable and open and approach people and you're saying, I want to know you, I want to know what your wife does, I want to know who you are. All of a sudden that makes you available. Then you've got a connection. And again, getting back to where I come from,
Right.
this all leads to the glory of God. I mean, if I'm
It
supposed to
absolutely
witness,
does.
if we're all made in God's
Yeah, I
image,
like it.
that's always been my belief. Our
Yeah.
identity's in Christ. We're all brothers and sisters. Well, if I've got to know you to know that connection. If I'm looking at a fake Facebook feed or an Instagram
Right.
feed,
A facade.
there's no authenticity.
There's no
Yeah,
authenticity.
but then
involved. Yep.
just to say that in being anything outside of you, I can't see the clock on the little times on the side. Be quiet, Parkinson. If being anything outside of you is forced, it's draining. A lot of people don't see how draining it can be because it's like a wave. When God created you go in that direction, you turn around, you're going against the current, and you find yourself frustrated, and you find yourself forcing, like you said, trying to be like other people. And if people just be who they are, life would just be more easier for you.
Say that again about the draining. I want to hear that
Going
again.
So it's like a
Right.
wave. So yeah, if you go against who God created you, so the stream it flows, right? There's a tide underneath. When you go in the direction God, you're just being who you are, being who you're called to be, whatever, however He made you, it's fine. But sometimes we don't, and we have to turn around. We're going against the current, and we find ourselves forced, frustrated, don't know what's wrong or what it is.
Mentally ill.
Yeah, mentally ill because you're trying to be like Susie Bob, and Susie Bob barely hanging on. Like, no, He just wants you to be you.
Right.
Yeah, that's
It's an
it.
interesting point because y'all give us 5 more minutes on the segment. That's an interesting point because not only are you not operating in the space you were wired to operate in, but you're trying to operate in a space where you see somebody else operating in, and they're not even operating in their own space.
Exactly.
It's inauthentic.
Man, it's
Yeah,
inauthentic.
it's not-
Yeah.
Doubly.
That's
Yeah,
right.
doubly.
Or I know you wonder why you're not successful because you're not
Right.
supposed to be there. They're supposed to be successful in that space. You're supposed to be over here,
Right.
whatever, and that's what you're supposed to do. Everybody's in their place, do what they're supposed to do, and you be called the way they're supposed to be called.
You
That's
just
it.
said a word though that I want to jump on.
Jump on it.
And I want
Hey, you
people
better
to
Joey.
jump in
Come
here.
on,
We're
Joey.
sharks in
Yeah, I
here,
know.
man.
Come
I'm talking
on.
all over.
We're sharks in
I
here,
want
man.
people to ask this: what is success?
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
honestly,
It's relative, right?
It's
Sure.
right.
And it's
If-
subjective,
I don't care how big your house is or what you're wearing.
Right.
What is success?
Right.
If you have peace, if you have
Yes.
happiness and contentment, if you have the peace of Christ, I don't care if you don't have 2 pennies. If you're peaceful,
Yeah.
Right.
where you
Right.
are, that's success. How many rich people you know that are miserable?
Oh, yeah.
They're everywhere.
Well, I don't know many rich people,
No.
so but, but yeah. But, hey, look,
I
I'm miserable
am. My
because I
daddy-
don't know.
my daddy
I'm just kidding.
rich.
I'm just joking.
Besides you.
Right. That's,
Look at Hollywood.
Right.
Yeah.
You can have everything in the world and be
And still be
miserable.
miserable,
So
yes.
you said a critical thing there.
is.
Yeah.
Define success.
Right,
Right. It's not what the world tells you
Right.
it is.
Well, what is success to you? What is that to you?
The peace of Christ.
Peace of Christ.
You know, Paul said this, I believe it was in Romans. He was in a Roman prison.
Yep.
And he said, I have learned to be content in any and every situation. The man sitting in prison. And it said, I'm content. You know why? Because he was where God wanted him to be. He didn't say because I've got a Rolex. He didn't say because I'm driving a new Jag. He said, I'm where God wants me to be.
For a
So-
purpose.
Come on.
For a
now.
purpose. And
that
so
time.
now he's content, he's at peace, and he's got joy.
Yeah.
Dollars don't bring you
But
joy.
you said
Right, yeah.
joy. We get happiness and joy confused. Happiness is worldly. You just,
And
when
temporal.
you get, it's temporary. The Rolex, the car, the vacation, that's happiness. Joy is from God. People get confused, and that's something where everything doesn't have to be right. But people like, girl, you happy and you got a smile on your face. When I know, you just faint back. It's joy. God gives you joy and peace. What you said, but we get joy and happiness confused.
Contentment
Yes.
is being where God wants you to be, no matter where that is.
Yeah.
We're supposed to bloom where we're planted. Not always need one to be in another field. Right? That's when we get
Right.
unhappy and we get
Right.
chaos.
Comparison.
Right.
And now
Yeah.
I'm back to what I said earlier. We're supposed to be in harmony.
Yeah.
No matter what your views are, be in harmony and find that contentment.
Yeah. Yeah. Kojak,
I'm preaching.
what's your definition of success?
That's the
Oh, yeah.
definition.
We're about to get Kojak.
Oh
Right.
Lord.
Okay, Joy, you ain't never been Kojak. You're about to get your first Kojak.
Kojak me.
Right.
Went outside. Oh God.
Oh Lord. Here we go.
Success not attached to money.
Well, Joey, I think Joey just said that. So you got
Keep
Kojak.
going.
You
Keep
got
going.
Kojak.
Watch
All
what
right.
I do.
Keep going.
Okay, well I'm watching. Look.
Success is attached to peace.
Oh, okay, so you just
Right, yeah.
okay.
So
he just
I-
used he used attached.
He literally just
He just said attached. I
literally-
got you. That
he
was
literally-
the whole
look,
word.
He literally just
said
said what
atta-
Joey
No,
said.
he's expounding. He's expounding.
Kojak.
You got
He's expounding.
You're right.
Expound
You
on
got
You
Kojak.
used your own words on you. You forgot you even
got
told
you,
the word.
Right. Angelica, how do you define success?
Success. I don't know. I just waking up, feeling like I have everything. I have a peace of mind. I have my health and my strength, and I have hope. I feel like once you lose hope, you lose everything. So I feel like I'm operating on who I'm supposed to be. So that's what I think. That's what I think success is.
How do you gauge it?
Come on,
I
Two.
define success as as knowing that when I leave here, my children are taken care of, right? Knowing that I leave a legacy, knowing that I've impacted somebody's life positively.
Yeah.
That's how I define success, and I thrive on that. Every single day. Seriously.
Well, and
Yeah,
what you
yeah.
know what you didn't say?
What didn't I
Bigger house.
Oh no,
You didn't
no,
say a
no.
bigger watch.
I don't need a bigger house,
Right? Because
Right,
that's
I
not where
don't
you're going to
need- I don't
find
need-
it.
I honestly don't need that. I just want my children to be
Yeah.
safe and to have be able to function when I leave here, be able to function successfully when I leave here.
Well, let me add this too. I've known lots of folks with lots of stuff, and that becomes their God.
Yeah.
And that takes up all their attention, and it takes all their time. That takes over.
Yeah.
That's true.
So look, it is my birthday weekend. We got 2 months. We're in the national holiday weekend.
Oh God,
July 14th
can this
is
hurry
my
up?
birthday weekend.
Can this hurry up?
Yeah.
Birthday.
So yeah.
But
Thank you.
now,
for
Joy,
that.
I do have a question. So we're speaking of your birthday. So the weather this weekend, I don't know. Is it going to be hot? Is it going to be cold? Is it going to rain? I think it's because it's Parkinson birthday. It might be
Yeah.
a little cloudy and dry
Boo.
outside. So I mean, what do you think? What do you think it's going to be, Joey?
It's going to be brutal. It's actually going to be super hot.
Is it?
Yeah, we're
Hold on.
going.
I think. Hold on.
Wait a
I
minute.
think
How do
we
you know
got
that,
we got
Joy? How
something
do you
for
know
you.
that?
Hold on, you need
Oh,
his
yeah.
backdrop.
I
You
can
need
give
his
you-
backdrop.
give
Give us
us
a weather report here.
Now this weather report is zooming in, scoot over.
Get this shot.
This is from the Idlewild Enrichment Center. The children made this weather board just
Move
for
over this
you,
Richmond
okay?
Center, you go, right?
Yeah, the
So
Idlewild
you have to
Enrichment
give us
Center.
a weather forecast on this state of the
Just
art.
for you.
This is a
State of the
state of
art.
the art green screen digital
I
weather
love
board.
this now.
Right,
All
right.
Listen, as we go into this heavily publicized Antonio Parkinson weekend,
Right.
we're going to see a lot of sunshine. Idlewild, is that who you said?
The
Nate?
Idlewild Enrichment
Hey,
Center.
shout out. This is fantastic. We're not going to see a whole lot of clouds of rain. It's going to be super hot. I have a feeling Antonio's going to be overhydrated. If I know what he's going to be doing.
He's gonna be real thirsty.
Real thirsty.
Say that thirsty.
The humidity is going to be through the roof. So we're going to see all kinds of chaos on the ground. Find a swimming pool Get cool. Get in that AC. By the way, you did a fantastic job. Thank you.
Good job, Lee.
Y'all give it up for
Shout out to Ottawa Enrichment Center
State of
children.
the art.
Hey, look, you saw it first right here on the Antonio Parkinson Project. We'll be right back. You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project. Hit that subscribe button. Surprise, Antonio Parkinson. You're watching the fastest growing visual podcast in the Memphis market.
Whoop, whoop.
And this segment is sponsored by the official voter guide. So it's right over my shoulder, over this shoulder.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, you see
Look
it. You
at
see it.
Okay,
You see it.
I see you up
Yeah,
top.
make sure, that you go vote. Is early voting. Every election is incredibly important. Make sure your voice is heard. The officialvoterguide.com is right down here in the ticker. You see it right down there in
I
the
see
ticker.
it.
So
see
please make sure you go to the officialvoterguide.com. Download your official voter guide. Take it in the booth with you. It's a cheat sheet. And so, it's a great opportunity to make sure you go vote. And remember, the lines are really, really short right now. So early voting just started. So it's a great opportunity to actually go vote. No line, no wait, no anything, no hesitation. And then let me say this too. When you download your official voter guide, take it in there with you and bypass all them folks that's trying to give you stuff. Right. So you get
They
to
be
skip all of the
outside,
harassment,
yeah.
right? Take it in with you. Tell them, look, just throw up the deuces. Tell them you got what you need. You're going in there and vote. Angelica Jelly Woods, you back in the building with your makeup on?
I am. I'm looking at these. These are all
look at
winners, okay?
She's trying to bat her lashes, y'all. She just wants y'all to see her lashes. Look, that's too funny.
I'm looking at the voter registration guide.
That is
okay?
not the voter register. Oh my God, Kojak.
The official
Kojak.
voter guide. Excuse me.
Kojak, man, Kojak. I've been having a company called Black Market Strategies
I
for
know, I be
over
killing
20
people's
some years.
names.
And
I'm
she
sorry,
just tears the name up.
Kill it.
She just called the official voter guide the voter registration guide, and
I was one of those people where
Oh,
you meet
Lord.
people and you cannot remember them save your life. If you see how I got people saved in my phone, you would be like, Lord,
Lord.
the dude at the gas station.
Oh, I
the
have
one
to do that
with
too.
the
I have to
because you
make a
just,
note.
I
Yeah,
don't
I
remember it.
definitely-
You have to do the same
I have
thing.
to make a note. But you jack some names up, man.
I'm working on it. I'm sorry, y'all.
Man, you jack some names up.
I'm working on
Oh,
it.
y'all, it's the official voter guide. They only sponsor that, and Angelica's jacking that
Official
name up.
voter guide. But
Damien,
I was
Damien.
gonna clap because I used that guide last election. Everybody won. And sometimes you're just saying figure out things. You just know what to do. You get in and out, make it easy. So I was
Come
gonna give
on,
a shout out
fix it,
for it.
Jesus.
I
Look
do
at
PR for
look
them.
at her.
Thank
Look,
you.
public relations. Boy, you
Yeah, I
definitely
know how to
public
turn it around.
Just
Okay, so
put
that's
that
all I
spin
want
on
to
it.
say.
DJ Kojak, scratch it up for Joy 4 times. Let me see if you hear it.
Bam, 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 bam.
Okay.
I got
Okay.
You-
I
he got it in
I got
stereo
both
that
ears
time.
way. Yeah, okay.
Joy Solopek in the building. Woo, 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 woo. All right,
Yeah.
look. Let me ask this. Angela Simmons. Okay,
Oh,
Joy.
Jesus.
You was coming up at Raleigh Egypt High School. What year did you graduate?
Man,
Okay.
You're dating me, brother. 85.
85. I thought I was
Well, I
older
ain't gonna
than
tell
you.
you what year I was born.
I'm sorry, I
though,
came out in
now.
86.
That's why I hesitate.
It's okay. It's
Right.
about how you look.
So I always thought I was older than you.
No.
You got me by a year. So I
You
came
grew up
out in
off Run
86.
DMC.
You grew up on Run DMC.
Absolutely.
Right,
We're gonna tell you about. We're gonna tell you about his daughter.
King of Rock.
We're
That
gonna
was
tell you
when
about his
the
daughter.
last album that they dropped before we graduate. King of Rock, if I'm not mistaken.
Definitive.
Yeah.
Definitive.
Yeah. Hard times. Right? You know, and man, a classic.
It's like
album.
that.
Damien, what year you come out? 93. Oh man, you young millennial. Man.
What
Man,
you
look.
mean? I mean, I can't do math. How
Right,
old would you
right,
be?
right. 93, man. My daughter older than you, man.
How old is he, Parkinson?
Man, so Tia is 31, so he's 29. Now, how old are you?
He's at 29.
Yeah.
How old are you?
49.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay. He
okay.
said he gave you
might be
some
a little bit
extra
older.
years.
Yeah,
Look,
he a little
I'm
older
like,
than
you ain't
my
got no kids
yeah,
that
yeah,
age.
yeah. He
You
said
just started
93.
shaving.
He
Right.
said 93. I'm sorry, my daughter was born in 91. Not
Yeah, he
graduated. Look,
he
my bad, my
graduated.
bad,
I'm
my
like,
bad.
your daughter is
Right. My daughter old.
You was
Tia
grown.
probably
You
looking
was
at the
real
show
grown.
like, Dad.
You was
Really,
real
Dad?
grown
Look,
fast.
Dad.
You trying to grow up.
Right. I was
Grow
16
up.
when I had her. 15. But listen, so Run DMC, King of Rock, you know, LL Cool J was just coming on the scene. You know, Class 85. You know, Class 85, 86. Those were some great classes, y'all. Real talk. Am I lying?
Please.
Am I right? Yeah, you went to school with a lot of my friends too, man. And but anyway,
Now, I want
so-
to ask, was back there was a majority black or white at school?
It's 50-50.
yeah,
And I have to
yeah.
ask another question.
Yeah.
Have you ever dated a black woman?
Uh,
Because I'm from Iowa, everybody assume I've dated a white man.
wait. It's not that define dating.
Now,
Yes.
let me find out,
I'm just
Joey.
saying. I'm happily married. Hey,
I'm gonna say,
wait a
you
minute.
gonna give me some
Yesterday,
stories.
wait a minute.
Did
that.
not have sexual
My-
relations with her.
Yesterday was my 26th wedding anniversary
Oh, yeah.
to
Okay,
my
look,
beautiful
okay,
wife.
okay.
So I will.
And we want you
I'm
to have
going to
27.
ask to not answer that
There
question.
you go.
We want
Good
you to have
deal.
27.
You already answered my question.
That
You already
is
answered.
hilarious.
I just had to ask.
Yeah, you
Duh,
asked. You
I
asked.
did. But we
You
talk
asked.
about Run
You
DMC.
showed through that.
I'm
video.
sweating now. You made me
And
blush.
So Reverend Ron's daughter, Angela Simmons, who is also dating who?
Yo, got it.
Okay, so there's a
got
bit
it.
of time. All right, so Angela Simmons and Angela, you got to set this up because all I know is there's Oreos and that.
There's a lot of controversy. She's been in the media, getting a lot of attention online lately. But recently, she was in a bathtub full of Oreos. I don't know if y'all seen that. Damn, have you seen it?
And what's the point in it though?
It
Help
was
me.
to promote. She was just trying to promote
saw it,
this
Damien?
new connection, this new collab with the vegan, the slutty vegan.
Slutty vegan.
And they were just trying to be. It's all about, like Joy was saying, about grabbing attention, finding that niche.
Wait a minute.
But it
though.
went wrong.
But but how does Oreos tie to the slutty vegan?
They have a deal.
They have a new
Well,
vegan.
first of all, I found out that Oreos are vegan. I never knew that.
No,
I
they,
didn't.
they got a new vegan.
But I'm saying
Oh.
Oreos are vegan anyway.
All of the Oreos were vegan
No.
anyway.
You sure?
Thank you. Yes, we did. Now, when y'all clipped me, Nichelle said that.
You
But
said it too. though.
when you say, I heard that. But vegan, people automatically assume vegan is healthy. So I never thought Oreos could be vegan. But allegedly, I'm gonna put that up there. Oreos are vegan, but there's a new partnership, and Angela was helping endorse that partnership, which ended in a tub full of Oreos.
So I wonder how Oreo feels about that, having a naked Angela Simmons with covered in Oreos. You
I don't know how they feel. A lot of people online feel like she's terrible. That was terrible. It was trash, and it was poor marketing. Who is the marketing
I
team?
think they're attacking her right now.
Yeah, Kiki
First it was
White
the
did
little
come to her
gun
defense,
thing.
though.
It was a little gun thing. At
What
first.
now?
It
What's
was
the gun
no
thing?
little gun thing.
What's
it
the
was a
gun
big
thing?
gun
Explain
thing.
the gun.
It was you gonna explain the gun?
Somebody explain the
Look,
damn
look,
gun.
look,
I
look.
don't know. Yeah,
Like-
Joy
I don't
explain
have
the gun.
I got no idea.
I have no idea.
Like 3 weeks ago, BT Awards, she shows up on the red carpet. She has a purse. You know how your purse can be like an object? The object was a gun.
Really?
So she got online. They got a back. She had some backlash. She got online. Was like, it wasn't a big deal. I thought it was cute. Only
Did
to
she
come.
do that because she was dating Yo Gotti?
No, she just thought it was cute. That's what I'm saying. But they said that was a poor decision on her because she's an advocate against gun violence. She did lose her fiance and son's father to gun violence.
Wait a minute. Hold
And
on,
Yo
hold on.
Gotti just, I mean, you know
So
what
wait a
happened
minute.
with
Wait a
him.
minute. So she has the gun. Does it look like her actual gun?
Yeah, it's an actual. It's an actual green gun.
Okay, so
It-
which-
it-
which-
you-
which-
and she
which
pointed
one?
it out. She pointed it out.
Oh,
like,
she pointed it.
yeah, she was real gangster.
Oh, she was thug, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yo
And-
Gotti
and-
was mustn't.
and-
They gonna blame it on
Yeah,
that.
right. But she lost her child's father to gun violence.
She did. Her child. She has like a 9 or 10-year-old child, and they were engaged. They were going to get married, but he was killed.
Man, them preachers' kids, man, they always, man, them PKs, Kojak. Hey, Joey, them PKs.
What I
man.
do?
Oh, but you're a PK too, aren't you,
I
Angelica?
am.
Wait,
You can't see. You don't see the halo and the glow.
Oh, what was Angela Simmons with the halo and the gun?
Wait, is he a real reverend?
He is.
I thought he was just that was
Oh,
his stage name.
Lord, that's sacrilegious. How
I did because I thought that was just his stage name. But the tub thing, when I first thought about it, I thought about how the TV show, her dad used to start off in a tub of bubbles. Do y'all remember that? Y'all never watched the reality show? Okay, her dad.
Crickets.
Even the memes that go around right now when she had the gun,
Yeah.
they had her in the tub, him in the tub saying, "Angela, get your tail home." Or when Yo Gotti stuff happened here, Angela, he used to start the episode in a tub of water.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, never mind. Damn, you do know what I'm talking about? Thank you, God. These people.
what, you do everything.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, he watched a lot of TMT, right?
I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Kiki came to her defense.
Kiki who?
What's her name? Palmer, saying like, "Y'all, it's not that serious. Everybody chill out," kind of thing. But she's been hot in the media lately for not the best things, but they're talking about it. So
Wow. And so my thing is, they had to be incredibly uncomfortable, being in a tub full of Oreos.
yeah. But then they had Kevin Stage. Kevin Stage did.
Where did the Oreos start and where did they end?
How many Oreos did it take?
Right,
It
right.
wasn't even worth all that.
Right. How does the Oreo feel? Never mind. I ain't gonna go there.
Okay, you going all the way.
Right.
Hold on. I hate to change
What is it?
Okay.
trajectory, but we got a comment. Thank you. Comment from the listeners. Matter of fact, one is from Yvette Whiteside.
Okay.
You know her?
You know
She
Yvette?
said-
Okay. Shout out to Yvette
She
Whiteside.
said,
Go ahead.
she's watching. What's
Okay.
up,
Shout out to Yvette Whiteside.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
see.
yeah.
That means
Right.
She wants
Yeah,
to
she's
know,
being
Joey.
right.
She wants to
That's
know,
fine.
will you return to TV?
Oh,
Also,
Hey, I want to know that too, actually.
Also, another caller said,
Another caller. Ain't nobody called in here, but that
Well-
man said another caller, Angelica.
He said call.
Right.
well, someone that's watching that
Uh-huh.
chimed in. She wants us to talk about the tweet heard around the world.
Okay.
So let's
see.
get into that. I guess was the tweet taken out of context, or because we know you went back and apologized. So in your words, just explain that, and then you can let us know if you're going back to
yeah. Listen, I'm an open book, and anybody can
I'm
ask.
confused. I don't know what tweet y'all talking about, but okay.
I had this conversation with a wonderful woman today. Just we were talking about a ministry, and she had not heard this story. So this is a little difficult for me, but I don't mind opening up about it.
Okay.
So I have lived my life that every person around us is made in God's image.
Right.
Yep.
I found myself in a situation about 2 years ago where I was asked to post a lot. And I'm a huge Memphis fan, Grizzlies, everything. I'm posting during a Grizzlies game. It's a matchup with the Sacramento Kings, and a player on the team. I'm a fan of all the Grizzlies. His name is Kyle Anderson. Remember Kyle Anderson?
Yeah, I remember.
Kyle Anderson gets called for a foul, a technical. And I'm watching this game, and I'm thinking, man, Kyle's such a nice guy. How are we giving him a technical when Draymond Green is being so rough?
Right.
I think Draymond's a bully.
Right,
I don't want to
right.
offend Draymond. I think he would probably admit to being a bit
Right.
bullyish.
Right.
And so I post about that, and actually the tweet was calling, and excuse me for cursing, okay?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
You
Welcome
can-
to,
you
welcome
say
to our
blank.
world.
The tweet was really calling the refs here's the curse word, a jackass.
That's the curse word?
I said it was
thought you
actually
gonna-
what I
thought
said
you gonna
was.
say
That's
That's
disappointed.
a
Actually-
donkey.
Disappointed in your
That's a
curse
donkey
word.
in the
What I
Bible.
said was
Right.
jackassery.
Right.
Because I'm thinking Kyle is so nice. Draymond is always running his mouth and always so mean to everybody. What is going on? So my tweet was, how is it that open mouth, because he runs his mouth all the time, and I said, knuckle dragon Draymond Green gets away with this, but mild-mannered, nice Kyle Anderson gets a tech. And I said, this is complete jackassery. Trying to poke fun at the refs.
right.
There happened to be a reporter for the Commercial Appeal
Oh,
who
God.
is from Southern California. I'm assuming he's a Golden State fan, who takes my saying knuckle dragon, turns it into something that I don't know what it is, and retweets it to all of his blue checked sports guys. And before I know it, it's going around the world that I have uttered a racial slur.
Oh, so you went viral.
Right.
I'm getting the background right
wait,
now.
it gets better than that. At the end of the game that night in Sacramento, they asked Steve Kerr on the air, what do you think about this racial slur from this Memphis
It
meteorologist?
was you?
And he goes, his response, and of course this got no press, it's Memphis, what do you expect? That's what Steve Kerr said. So the next thing I know, I'm looking at my feed on my phone, and it's Memphis meteorologist issues racial slur, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And I'm looking, and as you look at the articles, I still don't understand what they're talking about.
Right.
I'm like, what are they talking about?
Right.
So apparently, there's this archaic term that used to be derogatory. I had no idea.
I never heard it.
In fact, if you're reading the articles, they often said it's an archaic term because people are going, what are they talking about? So
I don't know what they're talking about.
I'm gonna keep this as politically correct as possible because I
fuck
got
that.
friends
you
in
ain't
the
gotta
room.
keep- No.
Right.
Well, PC here.
This is
just
what-
give us the authentic. Remember what the theme
this is
authentic?
here's the authentic.
Okay. Thank
Here's
you.
the problem.
Thank you.
The ownership of my station at the time was changing hands. And there was so much criticism, which I feel was primarily from the West Coast and the Northeast. Okay. There were some local activists who attacked me immediately.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. But the parent company in Atlanta wanted me to be fired immediately without talking to me. So they said, go home and don't say anything. I was like, let me apologize. Let me apologize to Draymond. Let me get out there and say, I have no idea. This is crazy. Look at my life. Look at look at all the, what I do.
Yeah.
No, they said, stay home and be quiet or we're going to fire you. So this drug on for months where I can't even come out. I'm seeing and hearing all these things being said about me, and I can't come out and go, this is not true.
That's bad.
Let me clear my name.
Yes.
Let me apologize. Can't. So we get to the end of summer, behind the scenes, and I'm just going to tell y'all stuff nobody knows.
That's
They've got me. They finally interviewed me, and then interviewed the team, and interviewed
Who was
people at the
they?
station.
Who was they?
Management
Okay.
out of Atlanta.
Okay.
Then they started saying, "Wait a minute, maybe we rushed this thing. We moved too fast, and we did. This is maybe he's right." So then they said, "Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to fly in a woman who owns her own DEI company from Dallas. I met with her for a week downtown, one-on-one. First day of our meeting, she looks at me and she goes, "You know, you're not really a racist." I said, "I know. Thank you."
Right.
So I went through a week of training, signed a new contract. They said, "We're bringing you back on the air," and at the 11th hour, the company changed hands, and they basically just sent me an email and said, just stay home. And that's how my 18-year career ended.
Oh, wow.
Now, let me say this, because I had the same conversation earlier today
Holy
with this
shit,
with
though,
this
man.
with this
You know,
person.
there's a lot of stuff nobody knew.
There's a lot more than that.
My
A lot more. But here's the thing, Antonio. It's the hardest thing I went through in my life. To be accused of something you hate.
Right. Yeah.
To be accused of something you've
worst.
actively worked against.
I'm getting
right,
goosebumps.
yeah.
first of all.
And to have people who don't know you
Yeah.
try to spray paint something on you, and I can't defend myself, and then my world changed. And so I'll tell you this, Jesus saved me again. God lifted me up. He gave me strength. He gave me courage. He brought me out of that darkness, and he said, be still and wait. Just be still and wait, because he knows my heart.
Yeah.
And so what I found was, as months went by and I was able to get back out in the community, I'll never forget the first thing that happened to me. My wife said, go to Costco and get some pizzas. I said, I don't even want to
Said, go to
public.
Costco and get some pieces. Right.
I said, I don't want to go in public. Everybody
yeah.
hates me. Nobody understands.
But did you really? Wait.
I did think
let's,
that.
Let's pause for a second.
Yeah.
Did you? Two things I gotta ask, and don't forget where you are, so you can continue what you were saying. How did it affect your family? And did you really think everybody hated you?
Oh.
I mean, because I'm part of everybody,
I know you are.
right?
Yeah.
And I mean, and I know you wasn't
Imagine
singling me out, in that everybody. But did you really think that?
Yeah. And I'll tell you why. Satan overwhelmed us. It was an avalanche. It was an avalanche. It was an avalanche of hate from across the nation. People got my phone number. People were threatening the lives of my children and my wife. Oh, no, this is no joke. And it got so heavy and dark. And what I found was there was so much noise from activism that even the people that I thought would stand up and defend me were largely silent.
But
That's-
you needed that.
Hey,
You
I
needed
did.
that. You needed that. to
Wait,
happen.
Now, let me
You
tell you
needed
what
that.
happened.
But that's the greatest
That's the
filter
good.
up so you
Yes,
can see.
you need that.
Oh,
It's called
oh.
Come
pruning.
on, man. You see
Listen,
who really
You
F
need it.
with you.
It was
Yeah.
crystal clear. There were a couple of names right out of the gate. Dear people that I knew and didn't know. Merle Purvis stood up and defended me and is one of my best friends to this day.
Shout out to Merle
I
Purvis.
love
man.
her.
Listen,
So
she's like a
nice.
family
Love
member.
her.
There's a Reverend Frederick Tappan who got on a radio show and said, "This is foolishness. Let's stand up for this man." So, to answer your question, Satan tells you the world hates you because that's all I was hearing,
Right.
right? But here's the instance that I want to share. My wife said, "Go out and do this," and I didn't want to leave the house. I was like, "How do I convince these sweet community that I love that this is foolishness?" I walked to Costco and I'm standing there in this group of people. It was packed, about to close, and everybody's standing there to get a pizza. And I'm standing there going, "Please don't let anybody attack me. What am I doing here?" And I see something happening out of the corner of my eye, this blur. And all of a sudden, this person grabs me up around my side and got me in this bear hug. And I'm in a crowd of people. I was like, "What is going on?" And I looked down, and a woman that works there, she had on a hairnet, she was wearing a mask. She normally is at the cash register. She had gone behind to help with the pizza. She saw me, and this was early on.
Right.
She came running around, tackled me, and as I looked down, she looked up at me and she said, this is all she said, it's gonna make me cry. She said, "I want you to know that we know you, we love you, and God's got you." And I have spoken with her many times since then and told her what that meant to me. To have this beautiful woman of color grab me and say this to me just made me feel like maybe people are going to see the truth. Maybe God's going to shine some light on this. And from that moment on, I have been so blessed to be in this community and walk out and get to hug and love on people every day. If I'm at Kroger, if you're listening, you see me, come on up and get the hug.
Man, they still go to you for weather.
Listen,
Bro,
I ain't heard.
we got to.
And I ain't heard
I've
nothing.
never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
This is what I would call a weather phenomenon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
People, I'm serious. Sharita Miller, I'll call you by name. They go to your Facebook page for weather. I've never seen anything like this before in my. But this is some typical Memphis shit, right? Am I lying?
it's God.
It's God, right?
It has.
And let me wrap this up and say I
Take
don't
your time.
I
Take
don't hold bitterness. I don't.
That's good.
I don't, because God says, "Don't be bitter. Let me handle things. Don't have wrath. Let me handle things." And when you're being punched and punched and punched, your first reaction is to fight back.
Yeah.
But when it's so big, you can't. A guy said to me, I was about to have a breakdown. He goes, "What are you going to do? Go to these millions of people around the country that are reading this and go, this is wrong. This is
Wait a
wrong."
minute. Were you literally about to have a breakdown?
Absolutely.
Man, y'all, can
Absolutely.
y'all get? Can you
I would
grasp the
imagine.
gravity of that?
I was just talking about that yesterday. The internet, that's a lot to hear all those voices. And he said the enemy, like that Satan can make things bigger than what they are, and he attacks our minds.
Well,
Now-
it grew, it became viral. And let me tell you this, and remember this, listen to this. A lie will go around the world before the truth puts its shoes on.
Oh yeah, people love a lie better
Now
than
you
they.
said
than-
something.
yeah.
Truth won't have its
A
shoes
lie is
laced
more
up.
entertaining,
Shoes-
right?
And so
Truth
all
won't
of a
have
sudden, I
shoes
had people
laced up.
walking up to me that I knew going, "Did you?" I said, "No.
Right.
Look how this thing has been
And the
twisted."
fact that you asked that you don't know me.
But
so.
let me say the positive, because I like looking forward. I love what God has done for me and where I am, and the fact that I can stand here and talk to people I love about race. I couldn't do that. When you're under a TV contract, you can't talk
Ooh, you
about
got
things,
some
they'll fire you.
freedom out of it. Yeah.
If I put a sign in my yard for an election, you'll get fired. I mean,
Wow.
you can't do it. You sign that contract.
Yeah.
You can't say anything. So I had the same conversation today. I told this young woman, I'm now at a spot where I can talk freely about my faith.
Free.
We can talk about issues,
Yeah.
and we can talk about harmony.
You're right.
Harmony is mentioned in the Bible over and over, and I don't care. I have a view. I respect any views. Let's be harmonious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's why I love Memphis. Memphis sees through all that stuff.
Yeah.
I have been amazed by the people of Memphis, and that's why I love being here.
Yeah.
This is my city.
That's why we love you.
Yeah.
Y'all go.
That's a great
Come
story.
on. Come on.
I love you.
Y'all
Awesome.
are two time.
God got the glory at the end of the day. That's
Y'all
what
are
it's
too
about.
kind.
But let me
So-
ask you this, though. So, and I don't want you to answer the question about will you return yet, but I it's something in my spirit that is telling me to ask you about your wife, because I know this had to pull y'all closer.
Man, she was and is a rock
Yeah.
of Gibraltar. When it was crashing down on me, I literally had to shut down.
And her too, though, right?
She wanted to, but she was my defender.
She
Yeah.
can't be.
She
She's the wife.
was a strong woman who stood up.
Come on, wife.
There were several strong women in my life. My wife was leading the charge, going, "No, let's block. Let's protect and let's rally and let's wait on God to act."
Yeah.
It was so hard on my children, because they listen at my house.
Right.
They know they've lived there. I grew up going to the Ford's house,
Right,
for
right,
fundraisers
yeah,
with my
yeah.
mom. My kids
Right.
have grown up that way, and all of a sudden, the world and people who don't know
Yeah.
are hurling things that
Yeah.
but are completely untrue. And the station's going, "You can't talk about it. You can't talk about it. You can't talk
Sign your
about it."
hand.
It was the hardest thing we've ever gone through. But man, it is true that when life crushes you down, that's how God makes diamonds. Now, I'm not a diamond. I'm a dirty piece of rock. But I've been
Not a dirty
compressed.
piece of
Right.
rock.
I've been compressed, and I'll spend the rest of my days talking about how good God is.
So
Amen.
the magical question is, and I can guarantee you, every news station in the market is watching this, right? Will you ever return to television?
I'll be very honest. I've learned to not say never, because that's when God says, "What'd you say?"
Right.
I really had such a bad experience in that moment that it's not something I feel led to do. And let me say some positives. I have found, my Facebook page at when I left TV, I think I was at 40,000 people, and I thought this is going to disappear. I'm almost at 80,000.
Wow.
God continues to bring people to dialogue with and let me do. I'll always love weather. I'll always be a Mid-South meteorologist, and so I still do it.
Right.
So I still have that outlet.
Right.
And He's given me new venues. I've been doing some radio. I speak all the time at schools
Right.
and churches and events. I mean, I'm all over the place talking about what I went through and what God has done for me. So I don't know that I would.
Right.
Because God's given me so much freedom now to do things just like this.
Yeah.
You need
Yeah.
And this is what's important.
Man.
Awesome.
Man.
Your story is awesome,
Hey,
Jerry.
but look, you got 80,000 followers, right? And people that follow your page. Hell, your numbers are better than some of the ratings of the television stations.
Yeah. The shade. Hey, the
I want-
shade.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Hey, look. So from a business model for you stations that's watching, it would behoove you to tap in.
No, that's
No,
all
he
good.
said no.
Market.
He said
Right.
no.
That's
Don't
all right.
come over here.
We're all
Hey,
good.
hey,
We're
I don't know,
good.
Joey, don't never say never. You heard what God told you. Now. Look,
Ta-
man. But listen, man. You know what? I ain't
so
gonna even
good.
front. This has been
Oh, good.
Man.
best show.
I promise,
since
Joey.
we've been doing
Love
the show.
it. I love
I
it.
ain't gonna even front, man.
So good.
I almost passed the bucket around. He's preaching.
man.
He's preaching
Man,
around
but
here.
it's some
preaching.
Cash at me,
man.
jelly
It's-
funds,
It's some
jelly
truth.
funds.
And so, look, man, I just had, man, my heart is full.
Yes, I feel, you gave my little.
I've never said this on the show. My heart is full.
I
Let me
had
tell
a
you
bad
something.
attitude
When
coming
you
in here.
texted me and said, "Would you do this show?" Immediately, I said, "Absolutely." And nothing's off limits. I don't.
Right.
I didn't. When I got an email from Nichelle, I think that said, "Is there anything specific you want to talk about?" No, we talk about anything. And I'm glad. I'm glad the listeners wanted to know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This young woman today had no idea, and I just walked
I
her
had
through
no
it.
idea.
And we were at the hub getting coffee, talking about her mission statement. She's trying to open up a prayer cafe, and
Oh, that's dope.
this wonderful woman was crying. I said, "Don't cry. Everything's good. Everything's good." But
dope.
listen, if we can be harmonious,
Yeah.
man, let's do this all day long.
Man,
Right?
Yeah.
Authenticity.
You put me in a better
Authenticity.
mood. I came here with a stank attitude, and I
sure
feel
did.
better.
Well, let me say this.
You
I,
did,
I,
'cause, ooh,
I didn't even know what we were going to talk about today,
Yeah.
but I have known you for years. I know you're authentic.
Yeah.
I didn't have I was like, let's go.
You know, my thing with that too is that I'm people don't know. I get invited to speak in a lot of places, right? I never write a speech before I go to the place I'm supposed to speak at. Because I always ask the Lord, move in the direction you want us to move,
yeah.
right? And whatever it is I'm supposed to say, let it glorify you, right? Let it help someone. And that's why, even when we come to this show, we have a basic guide, right? about our direction.
Yeah,
But we don't want to be scripted, and that's the beauty of not being on television and radio.
Yeah, we get on
We
task
are
all the
not
time.
bound. If we can let it rip.
It's real.
And I love it, and it's authentic and it's real.
It's real.
Man, y'all give it up for Joey Solo.
Oh, hey, y'all are great.
Oh,
You got a great team here.
Kids are gonna be so excited about the forecast.
all I can say is this to me has been our best show.
It
Thank
is.
Seriously, and we've had entertainment,
We've had great
national
guests.
entertainment stars and
Mayor.
folks, and they've all been great.
He just said
Right?
mayor,
This has
mayor.
been one of our best shows.
Yeah.
So look, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow Joey. Joey, how can they follow you?
I'm on Facebook. Yeah, Joey
No,
Soul
all
Pet,
Joey
Facebook.
followers follow us. What are you talking about?
Yeah. We want
Hello,
some 80,000.
we want some 80K. Hello.
Yeah, right. Hey, you've been watching the Antonio Parkinson Project. Make sure you go out and get your official voter guide. Official
Oh, there
voter
you go.
guide.
There you go. There you
right?
go. All right.
Right. And make sure you go out and vote. Early voting is going on. It's so vitally important. And again, thank you for watching. Thank you for
Yes.
following.
Hey,
we
Lou.
are the fastest growing visual podcast in the Memphis market. And so make sure you hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next week. You're watching Antonio Parkinson.